And the weather is all fun and games with Al Dutcher. He is next to tell us what's going on in the forecast. Al, this last full week of August has brought some hot temperatures. What can we expect as we round out the month?
Well, Troy, certainly was hot this last couple of weeks. Very little in the way of days where we were below normal in terms of temperatures. Now, it looks like that trend is going to continue at least for the next week to 10 days. We do have a couple cold fronts that are going to move across the northern plains and slightly through Nebraska, but nothing that's going to be long-lived. It has had an impact of the recent moisture on the drought monitor, and we'll show you the current drought monitor in regards to where the situation currently stands, and this is as of Tuesday, so the latest precipitation from Tuesday on has not been included in this map. So we have seen some heavy precipitation across northern Iowa. We've had some heavier precipitation across northeast Nebraska and additional heavy precipitation across southwest Nebraska. So it's possible those areas that received more than 2 inches in this last week will likely see some improving conditions. But overall, very long-term dryness continues. We'll wait to see whether or not some more additional precipitation events will start to erode much of this area to the north of us. As we look at today's upper air pattern, we have this trough across the northern plains. It's been advertised to push a cold front through the state pretty much for the last week, and it was supposed to occur earlier in the week. It's just been holding off ever so slightly. We do have a low pressure situated in the southwestern part of the state. There is moisture available along this front, but it's fairly weak as we have a hurricane that's going to be moving up into the Gulf region. Right now anticipated to come into Louisiana, but further north we'll see a zonal flow set up after the passage of this cold air to the east. High pressure will try to build into the region, but as it builds in behind this cold front, we will see some convergence and some precipitation along it. So we might see some isolated heavy precipitation across portions of southeastern and east central Nebraska. By Monday, another trough comes into the Pacific Northwest. That's going to start to build the ridge back up into our region, so the warm air is going to return to the west first, and we'll start to see some of that start moving into the eastern part of the state as we get into Tuesday, but we still may have a little bit of residual leftover convection. By the time we get into Tuesday, we start to see the ridge building in earnestly. That hurricane is now moving up into the lower Mississippi River Valley, and then for our region, we're basically going to be caught between systems, so most of the precipitation is going to stay to the north and to the east of us. We should stay high and dry, and on Wednesday, we expand that ridge even farther into our region, so we're going to be right back up into the low to mid 90s across a good portion of the southern half of the state. Low pressure at the surface is shown to be developing in southeastern South Dakota, may trigger some thunderstorm activity east of the river, but for most of Nebraska, it looks like we're going to stay dry. On Thursday, this trough tries to dig a little bit deeper, but this high pressure system is firmly in control, so we're going to see very warm and sticky weather to the south of us. Low pressure sits up the surface in northeastern Wyoming. We should see some decent precipitation starting to break out in the Mott Rockies, and we do have some monsoonal moisture making its way up. Some of that might actually scatter some precipitation across the northern part of the state. By Friday, we start to see this ridge starting to sag toward the south. That trough comes in a little bit farther toward the northern Rockies. Low pressure sits up in northern Kansas, may bring some moisture up. Right now, just showing a scattering of precipitation across the eastern half of the state with a more concentrated moisture to the north and to the east of us. And as we go out further into the future, that high pressure is going to last through the Labor Day weekend at least, and maybe into the following week, probably by Wednesday or Thursday. And then we'll see that cold air push into our region. In terms of precipitation, with that cold air coming in, we have more precipitation chances. So overall, Troy, it looks like we're going to see some hot weather return next week with scattered chances for precipitation.